And welcome back to another everyone to another episode of Failed Attempt, where a collection of assholes sit around and try to play Dungeons and Dragons, and we are all dying laughing, and I'm about to show you why.
Fuck you,
Because
Craig.
our fuck you, Craig. Yes, there. Look, you even beat me to it, fucker. All right, this this right here is what we love so much about this. Adam and Eve's butt plugs, the new edition, the Lego butt plug, and I don't care if either of you care. If Lego or Adam and Eve have a problem, please contact me. I
Please,
think you should make this real.
we
That's
can
all
work.
I'm saying. We could work out a deal. All right, so specifically where you two left off was Merida, you were in the Crook House when you started hearing a weird sound behind you, and it turned out that it was actually Yorrick's book just kind of hovering behind you, and a ghostly hand coming out to kind of scratch or tickle your back to get your attention. You fought against it for a little bit until you finally turned around and saw it. And then,
And then it
not
scruffed me and took me away.
not so willingly, you attempt to fight against it. However, you did fail the roll, so it yanked you in. Next thing you know, you're laying on your back in the middle of your village that you haven't been to in quite some time, surrounded by your grandma, who was not looking very well, given that the village is primarily healers, and you were the one black sheep of the village. That she looks old and frail and pure white, um, is definitely a cause for concern. Immediately accosted by your sister Tyr and your twin brother Thal, who grew to be the actual size you were supposed to be. But you, of course, were born early as the runt, so he makes fun of you on that all the time. And of course, his fat ass going to the fishing pond near the village and having a whole fishing line full of fish around his ankle and around his shoulder and just eating them instead of sharing them with people. After going into the hut that you grew up in and sitting around a small table to discuss matters at hand, or really just to get the I miss yous that were so confusing and the welcome backs that were so confusing, given that they tossed you out in the first place. Unbeknownst to you, just outside your hut, in the same place that you landed, face down this time, was Yorrick, who appeared 5 feet above the ground and right down onto gravel road. So that is where we will begin. Yorrick, as you face plant the dirt, you immediately recognize by touch, because you can't really see, that this is not the sand that you are so used to in the area of the world that you are used to being in. There is no sand at all. It is purely tough gravel road. Like normally gravel road, there's dirt between it. There's some kind of substance between it. There's not. It's pure gravel. There is no dirt anywhere on the little pebbles that make the gravel road. There's no dirt, there's no sand, there's no moisture in between it, nothing. There's barely any air in between the pebbles. So you fall face first on rock. You don't take any damage, but it is a very unpleasant feeling having your nose hit rock from 5 feet up and not really having any kind of reaction time to put your hands out. So it's just flat out.
Starfish.
As you make your way to your hands, you're not surrounded by the warm, welcoming red panda family like Merida was. You're not surrounded by anybody. What you look up to is a very intricately crafted, handcrafted, pretty yet small, about 3 foot diameter water fountain. In the middle of the water fountain is a very, very thin stem and a hummingbird that just kind of rotates around in a circle as the wind blows. Depending on what direction the wind is blowing, depends on what way the thing spins. And out of its beak is the water that goes into the water fountain, and then it splashes onto the rocks. That is the only water that is anywhere on this gravel road. As you make your way to one knee trying to figure out your bearings, you see the same straw and dirt and brick homes that are about 1 story, and the oval shape at the top, followed by the square at the bottom. You're able to count about 20 of them just ahead of you, not even looking to your left or your right or looking behind you, just up ahead. There's about 20 of them. And there's no building that's bigger than the other ones. There's no building that has like a big cross on the top, which in your adventures, you're very used to that. Uh, any kind of religion symbols, you don't see anything here. Outside of the village, just outside the village, it is surrounded by a rock face that doesn't come any more than about 2 to 3 feet off the ground, and it's slanted rock, but it's like little steps, and they're very smooth rock. The only jagged part is the step part that is covered with very healthy, fresh green moss, and then small plants, small bushes, small trees, giant trees, all around the village. There isn't any direction that you could look where there isn't trees or these little mountains, which gives you the idea that either they found this hole to build their village in or they made it. But that is what you get up to see.
Well, after he's gonna dust himself off and just kind of take in all the sights and try to figure out where exactly he's at.
As you brush your hand off, one sort of familiar because of a past endeavor, yet you haven't felt it for quite a while. As your hands brush your sleeves and go down to your skin, it's very, very staticky, like you rubbed your foot wearing a sock on a rug. Just bzzz. It's not painful. It's not uncomfortable. It's just you felt that before.
Static.
Yes. After long adventures in awkward weather patterns or having to constantly use spells or any of that shit, or just like messing around with the book when you first got it, it's as if your whole body became static. Your hair isn't sticking up or anything, it's just here.
Interesting.
And then, as you're trying to figure out your bearings, Merida, from inside your hut, you're drinking this really crappy tea
Hmm.
that you couldn't stand before, and you can't stand it now. The only difference is they've added a little mint to it. That's about it. But through all of your adventures with drinking these new beverages and eating this new food and smoking these weird substances, your palate has changed. So where it used to just be like, okay, I'll endure this, and now it's nope, no thanks. And I don't know if you want to be rude or if you want to try not to be rude, but I'm gonna let you know that as you drink it, it's like drinking tar. It is the most foul. Yeah,
Okay.
that. So you smell the mint, but as soon as it touches your tongue, it's like it immediately stimulates your gag reflex. So it's up to you how you want to respond to that.
So she'll obviously sit there and she'll be like, "So, what's new with everyone?"
So I'm not. I wanna shift something a little bit.
Okay.
So instead of she will, it's I will. You are Merida.
Okay.
Okay. Just get yourself into that That's all. That's the only change. Other than that, you're great.
Um, I'll like grab the tea and I'll sniff it, but I won't take a sip of it quite yet. And kind of like see that my family's like awkwardly just kind of staring at me, and I'm like, so how's everyone doing? Before she takes a sip.
So as you're asking that, your brother Thal is awkwardly staring at you, but he has like his left arm up like this, and he's got it wrapped with the fish line, and just fish lining down his arm and up onto his shoulder, and he's just. And as you go to take the drink, your grandmother sitting in the chair, kind of hunched over. You see a little bald spot starting to appear on the top, along with the various patches you've seen before. Which again, every single bald patch is awkward. Tyr has them, Thal has them, and most of the village has them. Which hair loss is not a genetic thing. You have all of your hair. You're like the healthiest looking one there right now. Just very like silky. The oil is still there. Obviously, you've been brushed to death by Willow, so you're perfectly fine. And Darling ate all the bugs out of your fur. So she leans forward with the tea and takes a drink and just kind of hunches over to the table and puts it down and goes, "Well, I'm dying, but I'm okay." And it just sucks the air out of the room. Because you see your brother just stops chewing and just looks over at her.
That's one way to start a conversation. Then she's gonna go to take a sip.
What the fuck?
Yorrick, you are stunned at to the right out of one of the front doors of the hut. A red panda comes out that isn't as vibrantly red-haired as Merida, has like gray patches, and you notice it as well. You've been around Merida long enough through like adventures with Trock and everything else to where missing hair patches are generally, I mean, if you get fucked up in battle. But this red panda comes out and there's like gray patches and then there's missing fur, but they come out wearing a white cloth on the top of their head and an apron. Comes out of the front door with like a broom brushing off the staircase, takes one look at you, throws the broom down, and just screams intruder, and then runs back into her house. And Merida, you hear that from inside. As your brother immediately like drops the fish, goes over to one of the walls near the bookcase and pulls a spear off the wall. "I got it, Grandma," and heads for the front door.
Does that happen often?
Yeah, he doesn't know how to fight.
Oh, here we go.
And she just, as he
Grandma,
opens
I'll
up
be
the
right
door,
back.
as he opens the door and starts running outside. It's a weird man in a black robe.
She's gonna run to the front door and it's like, "Grandma, stay here."
Well, as you run to the front door, you make eyes with Yorrick, as he makes eyes with you.
Oh,
"Hi, Grandma." "Hi."
Grandma.
Quite the warm welcome, I guess.
So, as you make eye contact with Yorrick, your brother is standing at the doorway with the spear, which you actually went underneath his left arm to get in front of him. because you're a lot shorter than he is, so you were able to just scoot by. Even though he's wide, you were still able to squeeze through that little sliver to get by him. And as you're making eye contact with him, you look to your right, you look to your left, and you look ahead, and there's 6 huts that also have pandas with spears at the ready. None of them have walked down the steps yet, but there's 6, including your brother, that are ready.
I'll just suddenly just scream, "Halt!" Like, to stop anyone from like attacking.
What do
Hi!
you know? What do you mean halt? You know him?
Give me a second. Give me a second. What you think you're doing here?
Well, my book has decided to bring me here.
Of course, blame it on the book.
He's gonna take out the slip of paper that the book left for him.
Okay, so when you reach in to pull out the slip of paper, you grab the slip of paper, but as it comes out, the entire book folds open around the paper. Like like when the bind folds too far and just opens up backwards, and you're just holding the paper.
Once he realizes that the book is now formed, he's gonna quickly close it back.
Merida, from behind you, as you're seeing this, you hear the spear that Fal was holding drop onto the floor and kind of bounce down the staircase, and you hear him beside you going, "And I put my fish on the floor for this, god damn it, fucking." And he just kind of goes back, and you hear him scuffling around behind you as he goes back to chewing. And your grandma, "I told you he wasn't a good fighter."
Again, you have the book, and yet you're still here.
This is where it decided to drop me.
Merida, make a perception check for me.
Is it raining?
Not here.
I don't think
Okay.
so.
All right, never mind.
That's pathetic.
Never mind. Yorrick, with your passive perception, you notice that as you're holding the paper, like, how were you holding the page when you took it out?
He was gonna hold it up like.
Okay, so the book would have been, if it were closed, it would have been like the cover is this way and the back is this way, and then it's sideways.
Ah.
Is that what you're talking about?
That makes more sense.
You hold it this way?
Yeah.
Okay. So with your passive perception, you immediately notice that the back of this page you're holding is blank, which it was not before. There's always something on these pages. The one that's folded facing you has all sorts of abyssal and various things on it, which you're able to read. The page that's facing you in abyssal is not spells at all. At a quick glance, it's just like joke after joke, just written very, very poorly for no reason at all. And then the back page is completely blank as you're trying to hold it up to show it to her. And Merida, you're not able to catch anything before he closes it.
Yorrick's gonna look down at the book and just be like, ugh. More and more surprises every time you open. Anyway, where exactly are we?
You don't need to know that answer right now.
Okay.
Still haven't told me why you're here.
Again,
Just because you said the book told you so.
I didn't exactly plan to come here.
You know you can open the book and just leave.
I could surely try, but there's no telling what would happen.
I'm willing to take that risk.
All right. So, as you two are conversing, your grandfather comes out of his hut,
Oh no.
which is not in the same hut that your grandmother is in. You were actually partially raised by her, so she lived with you mostly when she was active in her work. She wasn't there a whole lot. It was usually just you kids, which is why you got in a whole lot of trouble and why Thal kind of led the crusade on trouble. Um, there is one hut. So the huts basically form like a horseshoe. There's one part of it, even though it's surrounded by mountain and trees, where there's no buildings at all. And that is where the pond is that they fish in, which is just a way of saying they nosedive into the water and get the fish. Because there's no fishing poles. They don't fish. They just, I'm gonna go eat. Yeah. I mean, it's a good sized pond. Like it's not a lake by any means. It's definitely a pond, but it is a very good sized pond. It's very deep, it's very wide. And then on the other side of that horseshoe is a single hut that's no bigger than anyone else's, but you do know that that's where your grandfather lives. And he comes out of his hut after hearing all of the ruckus and the hustle and bustle, which is very abnormal for this time of year for this village. Normally, it's very quiet here at this time. There's certain seasons where things go crazy, and this is not one of them. He comes out in his very, very recognizable leaf and fruit hat, which he places on his head, which everyone in the village knows means absolutely nothing. However, for whatever reason, for like the past few decades, he has worn that on his head as a symbol of authority. So everyone's going like, "Ah, it's grandfather again." But he walks out all nice and proud with this like banana and apple and pear and just leaves and pines from the nearby trees and like a couple of fish that are in there, which make it smell fantastic. Um, and he
Oh,
walks out in his also hunched over, very abnormally aged demeanor, um, pure gray. Oddly enough, no patches of hair missing on him, and no white at all, like your grandmother, but just pure gray, which is not anything remotely close to what happens to your kind. You don't gray. You stay red right up until the day they bury you in the ground. But he is like ashy gray. And he walks up, and it takes him a good, and I mean, like, as you guys are conversing and you're rolling your eyes over this book, it takes him a good, like, 2 to 3 minutes to walk 100 feet. So, like, you barely notice him coming up until someone else in the village is like, "Hey, it's Grandpa." And then as you look over at him, he's standing right by the water fountain, and his hands go up into the air in that very um, ceremonious kind of like, "Hey," kind of hands go up as if he's gonna like shout to the sky, and everyone goes, "Oh, not again." And he goes, "Villagers, our God has spoken.
oh
They
no.
have sent our savior. Merida has arrived for a purpose and brought her weird friend. This is a sign that they are the ones that are to journey to the cave beyond and find the cure for our village. And hopefully, Grandma, hope find the cure for our village. Let's all thank him for his arrival. And they just start clapping very awkwardly, like, yay, yay, great speech, Grandpa, yay, yay. And of course, the little kids in the village are like really cheering on because they don't realize the sarcasm. Um, but yeah, it's very like even with your passive insight, you're able to tell there was like a huge layer of sarcasm in there. With the whole save the grandma thing. but, but the find the cure for our village seemed very genuine. Yeah, like your passive insight's 14 and yours is 16 plus you grew up here, so that I don't even have to have you roll that. Please go forth as soon as possible to save our village.
What did we just get signed up for?
So Merida, make a history check for me.
And I am proficient.
Yes, you are. So you get advantage. Let's hope you get above a 9.
Which is actually pretty hilarious because I'm not proficient in history.
At all, and you're like a history buff. That's... Oh. What'd you do? Okay.
24.
That's 1 from a nat. All right, cool. So Merida, as he's explaining this cave, you remember it from being a smaller child, wandering beyond the hilltops and the mountains with your siblings, going to get in trouble, led by Thal, who was always calling you chicken when you didn't want to go because you'd get in trouble and all this other shit. Even though you were always kind of like the rebellious one, purposely getting in trouble was not something you were aiming toward. It was just a different kind of magic and religion that you were aiming toward, not deliberately getting yourself in trouble or killed. This cave, this cave is off to the north. So if you're facing the water fountain and your grandfather's home, you're facing east.
Okay.
So the cave would be to the north. And you know that it's merely a couple miles from the village, but it was always a place that Thal brought you guys, either through trickery or through bribery or through peer pressure. And the horror stories that you guys were told about that cave is that anyone who goes deep enough in it never seems to come back out. So you guys as kids would always get like right on the brink of that part and then chicken out and go back. So you've never fully been in the cave, but you know what he's talking about and where he's talking about. As everyone still is like, "Yay, great, cool." So they're really going to go? Like no one else seems afraid. They're still just kind of like bathing in the sarcasm. Like he's really gonna go? That's cool. Let's bring food. Awesome. Great, Grandpa. We love you. And a couple of them just start walking back into their huts and shutting the door. And then you two are immediately surrounded by about 25 panda children
Oh no.
who are like cheering really, really loud. Go Merida! Go Merida! Go Merida! Go strange guy! Go strange guy! And of course, your grandfather uses this as he's like, see, even the children know this is our savior, and he just continues. Yeah.
I think we have to go now.
She's
I
gonna
mean,
she's gonna turn around and look inside the house.
Your so your brother Thal, as you look in, is just standing at the door, just nibbling on his fish, just kind of giving that like blank, doe-eyed stare, like, all right, whatever. And your grandmother hunched over, just staring at your grandfather with like the like old and frail, but just these like you're gonna die tonight kind of eyes.
Is he serious? Is he really serious, Grandma?
Oh yeah, I mean, and as you're asking this, like he's ignoring the fact that you're not responding, and he's just building up the excitement of these kids that are now actually like picking you two up off the ground because there's 25 of them. So I mean, they pick you two up off the ground, and you two are both spellcasters, so you know it's horseshit. But he's like shooting prestidigitation up into the sky and like making these big booms and going, "See, our gods are talking," and he's just laying it on so thick.
Ugh.
But the kids have no fucking idea, so they're like, "Oh my god, it's really true." He's just, yeah, you guys know that it's bullshit.
I admire the showmanship.
What
Hey,
would you like to do? As you're about 2 feet off the ground now, being held by a bunch of little panda children.
well, it's kind of an offer we can't refuse.
Why couldn't the book send me Garrison?
Oh my god!
Jeez.
Oh my god!
Well, then.
This bird is brought to you by Adam and Eve's butt plugs. If you have a butt, they have a plug.
Well, fine then.
Hey, to be fair, you have a really bad rep with Merida right now.
That's
Recall.
That is fair.
that's true. That is fair.
Sassy, because she's still a bit pissed off, and now you have intruded her village, and now her village has chosen to suddenly bond you two together to fix whatever the fuck is wrong with this place. She's not exactly happy about the situation.
Oh man. Hey, it could have been worse. You could have gotten Malador.
I knew I wasn't gonna get Malador. He's too pissed off right now. And
the only
Vidar was dealing with Leatha, and I don't know Steven, so
Hey, you know, if Yorrick had lost the book, you could have had Trock.
yeah, you could have had Trock.
So
okay.
believe me when I tell you 95% of the decisions that I make are based on a roll.
Okay.
And I rolled him.
Surprise.
Surprise! Show it!
So anyway, what would you guys like to do as you're being lifted and paraded around by all of these really adorable kids and the horrible, horrible, horrible showmanship of your grandfather?
Merida's gonna just kind of, I'm gonna slightly panic and just be like, fine, what am I looking for now?
See, she has it. You know what? I'm too old for this. And he puts his arms down finally after you said yes, and he goes to turn back toward his hut, and you hear, oh, and he just hunches over even further and ask your grandmother, she'll tell you. And he just starts painfully walking toward his hut.
Oy.
Like you heard a come from the center of his back as he tried to turn around. And her standing at the top of the staircase. Yeah. Oh, okay. Come on inside. Whatever.
All right, put me down.
Oh no, yeah, they walk you over to your hut. And it's like being carried on a magic carpet. They walk you over to your hut and your feet just gently briskly land on the top stair. And they just scatter very loud throughout the village. Merida's going to save us. Who's that weird guy? Merida's going to save us.
Don't even bother. And then I'm gonna walk into the hut, and then I'm gonna turn around and like put her hand like onto his chest and be like, "Oi, wipe your feet. But you're raised by animals." And then just kind of like sass her way back into the hut.
Yes.
Stop outside the door, and he's gonna take his boots off before stepping inside.
Okay. So as you take your boots off and you go to put them on the staircase just outside the door, you notice that the closer you get to the floor with your boots in your hand, the smaller they get.
Oh no.
Until your hands like literally touch the floor and your boots aren't there.
I'm gonna have to remember that. All right.
God, I love this book so much. Anyway. By the way, this is a book of my own creation if you haven't figured that out. I put many, many, many hours into making this thing. So, yes, your grandmother kind of looks at what's going on over by the front door with you and Yorrick, and that's peculiar. Take a seat. So this is a very, very weird part of your grandmother. She's usually very vibrant and very lively and like not so full of shit as your grandfather, but normally more of a show person, much like he was, but actually like speaking truth and facts, known by, not horse shit like he did. And now she's like very, very calm and quiet and frail. It's a 180 from what you remember. But she just kind of asks you two to sit down as she pours another cup of tea for herself and for you and for Yorrick.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So, Yorrick, do you drink the tea?
Yes.
Okay.
He's gonna drink it out of respect.
I need a con save, sir. And before you ask, it is that bad.
He said it tastes like tar.
Oh, that is an 8.
Okay. So, out of respect, you take one little sip, smelling the mint, which to you is very attractive. But as soon as that tar, like, just, it tastes like a foot. It touches beyond your teeth, and you all over the table, all over Merida's lap.
Well,
But instead of like disgust and how dare you, Merida being however you want to react, but your grandmother literally goes and just keeps drinking her tea.
I'm just gonna sit there and just my hands are just gonna be up like this, like just looking at my lap, but I'm also sitting here grinning because I know it tastes like shit.
Yes. So,
My
You
apologies.
deserved that.
So, Merida, do you remember the stories we used to tell you about that cave?
Yes.
There is one piece that we left out.
Okay.
After you get past the second level, which I'm assuming you children never went down below the second level, it immediately hits you that she knew the entire time that you guys were escaping to go to the cave. Grandmothers know everything.
Of course they do. They always do.
Beyond the second level of the cave is an herb called the thistle leaf. That, rumor has it, from the infinite wisdom of your grandfather. She takes a sip with her eyes closed. Is said to cure any disease that may inhabit the body. Now, is what we are going through a disease? We haven't been able to figure that out. Oh, I forgot to tell you. This may have come as a bit of a shock, and I probably should have shared it earlier. And yeah, so the village shaman, your best friend Shahara, she's been missing since you left. But anyway, so the thistle leaf down in the cave, we need enough for each person in this village to really test the theory. So if you and your funny friend here, would you like more tea, sir? And she just kind of like pushes another cup towards you with that like, I hope you drink this because it was funny look on her face.
No, thank you. I'm
So
quite.
if you two are brave enough to adventure down there, we're going to need um, about 100 of those. And I'm not quite sure if it's the leaves we need, or if it's the stem we need, or if it's the roots we need. So just grab all of them. And she just kind of like starts muttering very softly in a tone and a volume that you can't hear anymore, into the cup as she continues drinking and just drifts off in the conversation. Yorrick, I do need a perception check from you. Even though you have crazy high passive, I still need it.
Perception.
And you get advantage. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, ain't nothing getting past Eagle Eye over here.
You know what's really funny is Judd's new character, Steven, is like either proficient or half proficient on every skill because of his race and his class and his features. But he still sucks at rolling.
That's a dirty 20.
Okay. So like what I mean is like the full ones he gets advantage on. The half ones is just a straight roll, and then the super ones is advantage with the +10. But he still rolls shit. So it's like, okay, you get advantage, but you rolled an 8.
Oof.
Cool. I mean, it's good for me. So dirty 20. So
Dirty.
as Merida is trying to wrap her head around what she just heard, and by the way, yes, that was your best friend that you grew up with, Shahara. She was the village shaman. She was actually the youngest member of your village to take the role of shaman, which is the village healer, like the village healer. And you were just told that right around the time you left, she went missing. And Yorrick, what you notice with that crazy high roll is when her voice starts to go down and her kind of like demeanor starts to drift off in the cup, she starts speaking in Celestial. Like the words literally go from just common everyday language to Celestial. And the words that you pick up are I hope and Shahara and died. Those are the words that you pick up. Not like I hope Shahara died, but like I hope and then something else and then Shahara and then something else and then died.
York's gonna. I'm gonna hang on to that for a bit.
Gonna put a pin in that. All right. And Merida, how are you reacting to all of this?
I'm just gonna kind of go like blank in the face and just kind of be like, wait, what?
And as you say that, she looks up from her cup and you see her face is just blank. And then she blinks a couple times and Merida, so lovely to see you. When did you get home? Would you like some tea? I made it myself. It's freshly brewed. And she just pours you a cup, pours Yorrick a cup.
Merida's gonna, like, before Yorrick can say anything, she's gonna be like, actually, we were on our way out, Grandma. We'll catch you later.
Well,
Okay?
do come by for a visit anytime. I have missed you quite so.
Me too, Grandma. Me too. And then she's gonna kind of like like push Yorrick like out the door.
York's not. I'm not even gonna resist.
Yeah, she just kind of falls asleep with her cup in her hand. And as you're pushing Yorrick out the door with yourself, Thal is literally just standing there nibbling on what's left of his fish. Out of the like 20 that he had wrapped around himself in various ways, he's down to like 3 as he just watches you walk out. She's been like this for a while.
Define a
I'm-
while.
Oh, I'm gonna go get more fish. He just drops the fishing line off of his shoulder, and like the 2.5 splat down on the floor, and he just pushes his fat ass like right out the door, shoves his way between you and Yorrick, and just heads over to the pond. So when I mean shoves, like you're pushing Yorrick out where I'm assuming you're behind him pushing him out the door. And when
Yeah.
he shoves his way between you two, he pushes you into one wall and he pushes Yorrick like off the staircase and just continues going. Just,
Brothers.
I'm gonna dust myself off and just. All right, now where are my boots?
What you mean? Where are your boots?
I took them off and they shrank.
Shrank.
Yeah, like.
Okay, then. That doesn't make any sense.
I'm gonna go over and wave my hand near where he thought that he dropped his boots off.
Okay. So you wave your hand along that corner right at the top of the staircase where the stair floor meets the door. And as you're waving your hand, you see a tattoo of your boots on the back of your hand.
gonna wave my hand near my feet.
Poof, boots.
Oh, I'm
Fancy.
wardrobe now. Love it.
And the tattoo on the back of your hand is gonna turn to like a smiley face with a wink, and then it's gonna disappear.
This shouldn't come as a surprise to me.
I'm jealous. Like eventually, it's gonna be like that episode of SpongeBob where he let what was that ghost guy?
The Flying Dutchman.
The Flying Dutchman.
Yeah, that guy. When he let him live with him, and like every moment of every single day, he tried to scare him until eventually SpongeBob was like, "Yeah, whatever, man. It's the same old shit. What are you trying to do?" Yeah. Just eventually, that's gonna be Yorrick. Something weird will happen, and he'll just be like, "Okay, again,
Yeah, all right.
same old shit."
This is what we were doing today, but
All right, but yes, your boots reappear on your feet. So, what would you guys like to do?
I'm gonna scratch the back of my head and be like, sorry about that. It was kind of funny though that you drank the tea.
oh, that was awful.
I know.
Like I mean that in the nicest way, with the least amount of disrespect. That was awful.
Why do you think I drank when I left?
That's fair. Well, lead the way. You know which way we're going.
I hope I can remember the way. It's been a while. Gonna start heading north.
Okay. All right. So, again, the entire village is surrounded by that smooth rock, and even as kids, you knew how to climb it because it's like the rock faces aren't very wide,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not very tall either. So it's very easy to get a foot or a hand, basically like the perfect rock climbing mountain. It does get a little bit slippery and slick with like the moss that's grown on it, which is another new feature that you haven't seen before. When you left the village, there was no moss. There used to be, and then it was just like the dead twigs and shit that made up the moss. Now it's fresh and green all over again, which stands out to be very strange that people in the village are dying and the moss around the mountain is thriving. When you left, it was the other way around. So I need both of you to make dexterity checks as you try to traverse this mountain face.
No, that was the incorrect one. Ignore that.
I didn't even see anything.
Yeah,
Oh, I guess it didn't.
it didn't even roll.
Nope.
Dexterity check.
Both of you.
Unfortunate.
Okay, so Merida, as if you had done this just yesterday, you approach the bottom of this mountain and look up, guessing that it's the right way, and you just burst your way up. And 20, 25, 30 feet in the air, you reach the top of at least this part of the mountain. And as you get to the top and you're looking over it, you see that it dips down into a gully about 20 feet down. So you're 30 feet up. It rounds off and dips down about 20 feet and then goes into a very, very like sharply round tunnel, like a U shape, and then back up to a taller mountain. which is again covered with the same beautiful moss. And within that moss and within those tiny bushes, you see like birds' nests and various species that you didn't even know were over here and didn't even know existed when you left the first time. But they all appear to just be thriving and surviving. And there's birds' nests and there's like babies being born and coming out of the sky and just picking up random insects and bugs off the moss and going back up into the air. And as you're taking all of this in, you look around and Yorrick's not there. As Yorrick got a hand up as tall as he could go, put a foot up, and went climb, climb. Instead of grabbing another rock face, he grabs one of the branches and it and down onto his back he goes. Which you take, let me get my dice. You take 6 points of fall damage as you land square on your back with no like buffer, nothing, no padding, just and it knocks the air right out of you.
I'll peer over the mountain.
Yep, and you see him right down on the ground where you started, just flat on his back, completely sprawled out, hands off to the sides, legs spread open, and just laying flat looking up.
What are you taking a nap for? This isn't the time for that.
So Yorrick, if you would like to, make another dex check for me.
Roll better.
Listen, I can.
Okay, you rolled exactly the same. So,
I hate
listen. Instead of making you fall this time, I'm just going to say, Merida, if you choose to be patient, you got up there in a matter of like seconds. You just crawled right up like it was nothing. The same 30 feet that it took you about maybe 30 seconds to traverse takes him like 3.5 minutes. Just trying to get his foot in the right spot and get his hands in the right spot, and too afraid to grab branches this time, and just very, very slow getting up to the top. But he finally makes it there.
Took you long enough.
Not a word.
Do you need a nap now?
You didn't have now.
Okay. And here comes the fun part, because now you're going down. So I need dex checks again from both of you.
Let's go first, please.
Hey,
Okay. Well, that's better. All right.
now watch.
Merida's going to fail this one, isn't she?
Probably.
No. Okay. All right. So, yes, you both
Whee!
make your way down in whatever variation you choose, whether it's on your back and you're crawling down like a crab, or on your stomach and you're crawling down. Whatever variation you decide, you both make it to the bottom at relatively the same time. And it is such a turn that like you can't even put your foot flat unless you turn it to the side. So you're like even Merida, even your tiny feet, your heel touch one elevation and your toes touch the other elevation. It's a very, very thin hoop. But you do make it to the bottom, and now off to the left, it follows until it hits another rock face that leads up, and then off to the right, it just continues to go what looks like the entire length of the mountain in one direction. And then, of course, there's the rock face in front of you that leads up.
Ready?
Yeah. Ready.
Roll again.
Well,
Okay, so this one being a little bit steeper of an incline, you both struggle a little bit. Yorrick, you're kind of falling behind just a little bit. Pretty much, she puts her hand on something and then yours hits the same one a couple seconds later. But you are right on her coattails as you make it to the top of this. This one being 60 feet in the air. So you're lucky you didn't botch that because that would hurt to fall.
yeah.
This one being 60 feet in the air, which puts you 30 above the last one you were just on. And as you reach the top of this one, you're both breathing pretty heavily. It was a task to get up here. Yorrick especially. You're like crawling, like on your stomach, pulling yourself to the top. Merida, you're kind of breathing hard, but you're just like, huh, okay. And then you're good. And he's like sweating and dying on the rock face as he tries to get to his feet. And as you look over, you now see that this 60-foot rock face does not dip down like the last one did. As you're at the top of it, the moment you step off this rock face, you're on land. And it's just a grassy pathway that just leads down in a very, very steady slope until you reach flat grassland. And it's just flat grassland as far as the eye can see. And Yorrick, for you, this is a treasure, given that you spent the last many years of your life in nothing but sand, just to look for miles around each horizon in every direction. It's just grass. And it's grass that's like from a quarter inch to like a foot. Just every kind of variation from crabgrass to really long grass to thick bladed to thin bladed to barely there. And then as you're looking around, there's also patches of grass that are missing, but they're missing because there's little patches of water. Probably like a foot in diameter. Just little patches of water scattered throughout the field. And Merida, this brings a huge wave of nostalgia as memories of you and your siblings traversing this field. Like the whole, I bet you can't drink all the water in that puddle, and I bet I can make it to that grass patch before you can, and just all of these beautiful memories as you guys ran around this field you weren't supposed to be in.
Not far now. Just a little bit longer.
All right. So I need one of you to roll a d20 for me.
I'll do it.
I was going to say,
Fantastic.
considering
Oh, come on. Tyler's track record. Come on. There's no way.
I roll well when it counts.
20.
Okay. So knowing that you are still roughly 3 miles from this cave, you both begin your slow yet very comfortable descent down into this valley, in this wide open space of nothing but grass. The gentle wind blows, and you can see the leaves swaying back and forth. Those same birds you saw on the mountain flying around, and little pathways in the grass being mowed over as like possums and badgers and just various types of wildlife make their way in various directions. And you can see them drinking at the little ponds and then making their way more into the grass field. And it just seems so peaceful. The sky is clear. It's in the middle of the day. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. You take a deep breath. And nothing at all happens. You make it to the cave just fine.
Yay.
I was looking at Tyler's face like, what's gonna happen? It's never this nice. It's never.
And then Trot appears and snaps his fingers.
Yes.
Well, we're not in the cave yet.
Very true. But yes, that expression was perfect. That lets me know that I've done a good job because he's like, what's coming? This is too nice. It's too pleasant. What's gonna happen? I love it so much. But yes, so Merida, you approach the very familiar opening to this cave, which once again is just a smooth rock face shaped like a half moon. Yes. Brought to you by Twisted Tea. Adam and Eve's butt plugs brought to you by Twisted Tea, which is why I'm slurring. I'm about to go get another one. Because this is a lot of fun. So it seemed a lot bigger when you were a child, obviously, because you were a lot shorter. As you approach it now, the intimidation factor that you had as a kid just really isn't there at all. Yorrick, you're approaching this for the first time, but you've been a cave dweller and an exhibitionist for most of your life. So to you, it's like, oh, okay, it's just another cave. A very unusual thing for you, especially Yorrick, is the outside of this rock face is also covered in moss, which doesn't typically happen with caves such as this. Usually they just keep the smooth surface on the outside as well as the inside until, of course, you get deeper in where there's moisture. But for some reason, there's no water surrounding this cave, but there is very healthy moss growing on the outside. For both of you, the odd part is it's not the green lush that was near your village. This one is red and copper as it surrounds the outside and parts of the inside. But both of you are able to walk into the cave without having to hunch over. And you can go shoulder to shoulder. It's a wide enough entrance. Immediately, Yorrick, even with your 120 vision, you notice that the path leading in is a straight path that goes well beyond your dark vision. Like you're not able to see when it starts to dip, even from standing here. It goes well beyond as a straight path. So, would you guys like to enter, or is there anything you're doing to prepare first?
I'm gonna take my dagger and I'm gonna scrape some of the moss off of the cave entrance.
Okay. Are you just scraping it to take it, or are you examining it?
I want to examine it, but I want to try my best to keep it on the blade.
Okay. So as you go to scrape it, normally moss, I mean, I'm sure you've scraped moss off of rocks before, it just goes. It's just leafy. As you scrape this one off, the copper color literally bleeds off the moss. And just kind of like very, it starts wet and then just immediately dries to the rock face as you scrape it off. Make an Arcana check for me. Which you have advantage. Okay. This moss is a crimson wild. You're able to identify that with the Arcana. If you can make an intelligence check if you'd like. If you get high enough, I'll tell you what it does.
Yeah, nope.
Okay. So you identify it by looking at it and its unusual property as you scrape it off the rock as a crimson wild, but you're unable to remember what that is.
I guess I'm just rolling 4s tonight.
You are rolling 4s tonight. It's your third one.
Yep.
We'll see how that affects you later.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
All right, so Merida, are you doing anything to prep, or are you just watching him be weird with the moss?
I'm just awkwardly observing. Just okay. Are we gonna go in or not?
Just yeah, we can go in. I was just checking
weird.
something.
Okay. So you two start to walk in. Do you walk in side by side, or is one of you in front of the other? How are you doing this?
Oh, I could do side by side.
Yeah.
Because Merida, you do not have dark vision.
I have slight dark vision.
Slight.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have 60.
You have 60?
Yeah.
That's not slight. That's like normal for dark vision. Yorrick's is 120 though. It's insane.
Yeah, I have
Huh?
60.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, slight would be like 30. Yeah. Okay, so you have normal dark vision. He has 120, which is insane. But so you both start walking in side by side. I assume trying to keep up with each other. I think you both work. Yeah, you both move at the same pace, so it's fine. So Merida's legs just have to move a little bit faster to keep up, but you both work at the same.
She almost fell.
All right, got it. Okay. So as you enter this cave and you continue to walk and continue to walk and continue to walk, every step that you take, every 30 feet that you move, Yorrick, especially you're obviously your 120 feet expands and follows you. It doesn't stop. It just keeps going. For whatever reason, even you, Merida, you remember the cave being, you remember the cave being a lot bigger entering it. What you don't remember is this path being so long. You remember the fun parts of the cave, which is like you get to the part that you're not supposed to be and then you dare each other not to go. This path seems unusually long. It just continues to go straight and flat. Just 30 feet, 30 feet, 30 feet, 30, just more and more and more. After about a minute, which doesn't seem like much, but that's actually quite a bit of walking if you're doing it constantly. After about a minute of this straight path, you both take one final step, and the cave comes to another half moon shape. There is a hole down on the floor that's about 5 feet wide and about 3 feet. So about 5 feet that way, about 3 feet that way, and it goes straight down into nothing but darkness.
Bless you.
Did Grandma just sneeze?
Yes.
Yeah.
How dare she?
I'm gonna cast Produce Flame, and then I'm gonna throw the flame down the hole.
Okay. So you throw it down. So I need dex saves from both of you.
Oh God, what have I done?
Dex save. God.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, there's an 18.
17.
Okay. So as you produce the flame and you throw it down, both of you are able to remain on your feet. But within a second of him dropping that flame, you are accosted by a whole horde of bats that just and fly up into your faces and nearly knock you down onto your butts, but you're able to stay on your feet as they brush by and fly toward the entrance of the cave.
Yorrick's gonna look to Merida and just be like, "That was fun, wasn't it?" Nothing says cave dwelling like a flock of bats.
Oh, this is bringing back a whole bunch of memories. How long? Yeah, it's been a while since you've done anything like this, so you're in your territory right now. You can't climb a mountain, but you are in your spot right now.
It's easier to dig deeper than it is to climb, so
There you go. All right. And as you look over into the hole once again, your flame did hit the bottom, and for just a second you saw it before it goes out.
okay. So then that means it could be at least 30 feet deep.
Yep.
No, I have no idea how to tell otherwise. Because I know that 30 feet is the range of the produce flame attack.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here letting the bad thoughts come through and Mary.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
I'm sitting here in Merida's brain and it's just like, oh, there's another way you can see how far the fall is.
You just push him.
Don't you dare.
Hey, your flame didn't work. Let me know when you hit the ground. Yeah. Are you down there yet? Okay. Yorrick, you do see a ladder affixed to the side of the hole that is closest to you. So not the far wall, but the one, like, if you turn around and go down, the ladder's right there. So even after your produce flame goes out, it emits enough of a glow for you to see the ladder.
Is it in good shape though?
Perception or investigation. If you want to use your eyes or hands, it's up to you.
I'm gonna investigate with my hands.
Okay.
Yeah. 13.
Seems sturdy enough.
All right.
You're able to reach down like 2 pegs.
Well, the ladder seems like it would be okay, but personally I wouldn't trust it too much.
Then what else do you suggest that we do?
Do we have any rope?
Don't look at me.
Do you have rope?
I do not.
Yeah, I don't think either of you do.
I just have money.
You can throw money at it. I mean, you know.
Maybe we can toss some coins in there and wish our way down.
What would you guys like to do? You're gonna go down the ladder?
I will.
Okay. All right, Merida. So you turn around and position yourself and start making your way down the ladder. Paw over paw.
Grandma.
And after about 30 or so feet going down the ladder, you reach the bottom.
Come on.
I'm gonna follow her down.
Okay. Oh, that's a 6. Okay, so Yorrick, you do the same thing confident because Merida was just able to do it. You make it about halfway down, and I need a dex check.
19.
Damn.
Okay, so you are fine. You make it about halfway down, and one of the steps breaks underneath your foot, but you're able to hold on to the side railings and just continue to traverse your way down until you also reach the bottom. As the pieces of the stair meet you down at the bottom.
Look out below.
No worries.
Yes. So now you know at least one of the pegs up there is broken.
At least one.
At least one. All right. So now down at the bottom, it's a very, very tight space. Down at the bottom of the stairs. You're still able to stand shoulder to shoulder, but the space between you and the ladder, and then you and the right wall, you and the left wall, and you and the back wall, it's a very, very tight space. Like turning around, you almost brush all of the walls with your shoulders. Looking ahead, it's a normal doorway sized hallway, which means you've got to go one at a time. But it continues on a straight path. And Merida, this is once again like, oh, okay, I remember this part. As you recall these memories of you and your siblings arguing about who goes down the ladder first, and your brother Thal, ironically enough, being the one that placed the ladder in the first place. So you guys continue to traverse down the hallway. Who's going first?
I will go first.
All right.
Right.
All right. So you walk and you walk and you walk and you walk for again what feels like forever. As the hallway gets darker and darker and darker to where it starts to kind of like eat away parts of your dark vision, especially the peripheral. And then once again, you step, and there is another hole with another ladder. And this is where you have not been beyond this part yet.
Okay.
This is the ladder that you all dared each other to go down, and no one ever did. This is where the stories of legend and all of the rumors, this is where it starts, right here. And the space is much, much smaller. It's basically the size of a person with a little bit of cushion. So when you turn around to go down the ladder, there isn't this there's no space between your shoulder and the wall. As you're going down the ladder, you're like literally having to crush yourself, and you can feel the walls just going up your shoulders and up your back. But you both make it safely to the bottom. And then the room opens up into just this gigantic, what looks like endless cylindrical tunnel. And down here, Yorrick, this is even something that you've never seen before, is you don't really know how far below the surface you are at the moment. However, when you turn around to this cylindrical room, it is the smooth rock face surface that the cave started off as. Only on the inside now it's glowing and glistening. And there appears to be a layer of moisture on it, but nothing is dripping. There's nothing that's wet. Nothing feels wet. But it's like glowing and kind of throbbing but without any kind of light source hitting it.
Interesting.
And Merida, this is a spot that you've never seen before.
That's something you don't see every day.
I'm gonna use detect magic to see if there's any magical properties about.
Okay. Detect magic is how far? Anything within 30 feet, right?
30-foot sphere.
Okay. So the space of this room is such to where when you cast detect magic, anything within 30 feet of you is Merida and the ground. The cylindrical space of this part of the cave is such to where if you wanted to detect the walls, you'd have to walk up to them. It is a massive room. So if you two were standing right in the middle of the room, like shoulder to shoulder, or even one of you in front of the other, it would be 60 feet that way and 60 feet that way. It is huge. It is a massive room. So when you cast detect magic, nothing around you shows up.
I'm gonna walk closer to the walls.
Okay.
To the left.
Okay. So you walk off to the left until the 30-foot touches the wall. You get within range. Nothing appears to glow. It's just a very unusually beautiful wall.
Interesting. Okay.
So what would you like to do?
I'm gonna see if I can find that plant thing.
Okay. Make a perception check for me.
Shit.
Okay.
You're welcome for the 4.
I hate you.
As you are looking around this massive room, you find yourself a little bit distracted with whatever Yorrick's doing. And then of course the beautiful glowing glimmer of the inside of this cave, and just the fact that you are now further into this area that you've ever been in your life, and you're not really able to focus hard enough to find what you're looking for.
Got it.
As of yet.
As of yet, I figured.
As of yet. Oh yes, and I need to make a note of that name before I forget it. The thistle plant. And yours, Yorrick, I said Crimson. I can't even remember what I said, to be honest.
Wild.
Crimson Wild. That's right. How could I not remember the fucking name? I literally made that up on my own. Anyway, yeah, see, this is what happens. I have a good time when I drink, and then I forget shit too. Moss. There we go. Save. Fantastic. So those are both there. I've been noticing more and more that you guys as a team like names to shit. So I'm like, oh, I better start taking notes. To be honest, I'm not really a notes person, because I go back and watch what I said prior, so I don't have to take notes.
It's better for our notes when we encounter something. We're like, gotta have a name.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know. I've enjoyed it. It puts me on the spot, and I like it. But yes, so you were not able to detect any kind of magical properties as you walk up to the wall and kind of scale it a little bit, walking and just continuing to walk 100 or so feet. Nothing glows on the left side. Um, you look and see Merida kind of like trying to look at the ground and walk around looking at the ground and then ooh, and then back to the ground, trying to, and then ooh, and then back to the ground and just finally going, fuck it. And then just walking down the cave.
I'm gonna follow behind her.
Okay. Yorrick, it is your turn. I need a d20, please.
Oh Lord.
Oh Lord.
I'm gonna go ahead and go on record and say I'm sorry.
You should be.
18.
Okay.
Okay. 18. I need a d6.
Oh Lord, not more. 3.
Okay. And then a d4.
Oh God, stop. Anxiety. If I can even open up the panel. D4.
Mm-hmm.
Critter. 3.
Fantastic. All right.
3 and 3.
So 18, 3, and 3. Okay, cool.
At least it's not 4s.
All right. So you went about 100 or so feet with your detect magic, realized that nothing was glimmering off the wall. Merida, you tried for about the same amount of time to find the plant and just kept getting distracted by the beauty and the knowledge that you are now here and have something to brag to your brother about, because he was always too chicken shit to go this far. You walk for probably 200-300 more feet, just admiring the walls and trying to find this plant and unable to really do it. And you reach what appears to be the end of this tunnel. Now the shimmer and the beauty of this wall is to such a degree, when you reach what looks like the end of it, you can literally see your reflection coming off the shimmer.
Interesting.
It is so smooth and so clear and so bright and beautiful that as you get closer, you're seeing a distorted view of yourself in the mirrors, or like in the rock, as if it's mirrors, but as if like the mirror is cracked. So you see like a piece of yourself up here and a piece of yourself down here, and it doesn't really look like you. The silhouette is wrong. Yorrick, you see your reflection perfect.
Of course.
It's my special eyes.
You see your reflection as if it is a literal, flat, unbroken mirror.
Okay.
And as you approach this mirror, you see your cleric side, not your warlock side.
Okay.
And as Merida, as you kind of, with your slight still distraction, try to like chase your face around this rock, trying to like line it up to make it look like yourself, as you're doing like your own little jigsaw puzzle, going up and down, trying to figure out how to see the most of yourself in whatever rock face you can. Yorrick kind of approaches the mirror, just back and forth, and your reflection follows you. It's not like it's a different person where you turn left and it turns right. It's following you. It's you. It's just dressed as your cleric self. And after a couple of minutes of doing this, you both just kind of getting trapped in the reflections what you hear echo throughout the tunnels. And it just kind of like the noise echoes and bounces off the walls and catches both of your ears.
Weird.
I'm gonna immediately bring my guard up and I'm gonna have a hand ready. Just ready to start blasting.
That sounds more like an animal than anything.
A what?
Sounds like an animal.
Could be rats.
Oh, one of your other favorite things. First it was bats, now it's rats. Chalky!
Hey, a different cat appears this time. Listen, man, I can't keep making character sheets. You gotta go. I'm sorry. Grandma has already been indoctrinated in. I can't have another person. I'm sorry.
Lydia.
Grandma has been grandfathered in. You understand? I can't have another one. Too many familiars. Imagine if I had character sheets for all my cats.
Oh my god.
I would love that.
Like you guys aren't even allowed to play because I have 9 cats as character sheets. You guys can't even play anymore. I have to push you guys out. I play D&D every week for my cats.
Yes!
I put like a little camera on each one of their flea collars, and that's how we play.
Yes.
Like this one's eating food. This one's just laying down. Oh, that one's attacking her feet again. All right. Yes. So, as soon as the noises start, you guys are able to like break away from your reflections. Merida, your source was literally just like kind of mild amusement, distraction. Yorrick, when you hear the noises and you make yourself ready, the perfect mirror pane of your reflection vanishes and turns into the normal distorted rocky view of your current reflection, as I described Merida's, where it's like broken up like a Picasso.
Shattered.
Yes. I swear to God, that's calling your cat.
It might be. I don't know.
Because I can purr like a cat, but that was not purring like a cat.
Chunky! Stop it!
Your cat's like, oh, they're in trouble. I'm coming. What's going on? I hear something. And of course, none of my cats are moving at all. They're like, I don't know what that noise is, and I don't care. My cats are like, fuck it, I'm sleeping. But yes, you can hear what sounds like the pitter patter of scattered footprints from every direction. You can't really tell if they're approaching, if they're getting further away. You can hear multiple in various areas.
And I can't see any of it?
Nope.
Damn.
Nope.
Huh.
You can hear it. Both of you can hear it, but there's such an echo that you can't even really perceive what direction it's coming from.
Mhm.
That's a bit complicated, isn't it?
Keep your guard up.
Yep. Didn't think it'd be that easy.
All right. And as you look around and you ready yourself, Yorrick, what comes into your view of your 120-foot dark vision? I would say you don't see it until it probably reaches like the 80 or 90 mark. But what comes into your view is just a little squirrel as it comes into the view. and it looks like it's holding something around and it looks at you and just continues to do that like awkward zigzag pattern. Gets to about 60 feet, stops again. You see another one. You see another one. You see another one. As they just continue to pop into your view.
It's squirrels.
Squirrels.
Yeah.
What are squirrels doing down here?
And they just continue to approach and continue to approach and continue to approach. After probably about 30 seconds, there's roughly 15 of them scattered throughout the area, well within your purview. The first couple of ones that appeared are now at 20 feet, 10 feet, getting very, very close. Just continuing to eat whatever it's in his claws. Go ahead and make perception checks. Both of you.
Bear with me a second. My computer has been kidnapped.
Your computer's been kidnapped. How dare it be kidnapped? That's a good fucking roll. You can't climb a hill, but you can definitely see shit.
Perception.
You can't climb a hill for shit, but you can see everything.
Just about everything.
Okay. Merida can't see anything. So she is just confused and fascinated at the same time as to why squirrels would be so subterranean. Yorrick, the first couple that begin to get closer and closer, you notice something very peculiar. They're the claws on these, I mean, they're normal sized squirrels. You know how big squirrels can get even when they get on their feet. They're probably about that big. Their claws are about the size of my fingers. And on each hand, and then the little whatever the hell they were eating the entire time, it hasn't been touched at all. As 3 of them are now approaching you.
I don't plan on sticking around and trying to figure out why they're here.
3 of them jump onto Merida. And just like, basically, like, Merida, you're just looking around fascinated, like, why are they down here? And Yorrick's noticing, wow, those claws are huge and they're not actually eating. And then, rah! And it's tiny little squirrel face just explodes and almost like stretches out to like this tiny squirrel face just stretches out into this oval shaped face and this huge mouth of jagged teeth. And these claws stay the same size, and the rest of the body also just envelops into this big fucking like teddy bear sized monstrosity as 3 of them lunge at Merida. I need initiative, please.
Squirrels, not squirrels. Garrison's have PTSD over furniture, and we're gonna have PTSD over squirrels.
Squirrels! Why? Bats and then squirrels and what the fuck? All right. So we got Merida, and don't announce it. Wait until I ask. All right, and then we're gonna go. Got that. And you rolled 3, so there's our 3. Okay. Merida, initiative roll?
4.
4. Now you have the 4s. Yorrick?
14.
14. Hey, there's still a 4 in there. All right, so let's see. That one got 3. So, I mean, you're not last. That one got 12. And that one got 7. Okay. So, Yorrick, you are first. As they went from the normal squirrel height of probably like, what, 8 to 9 inches tall to now 2 feet tall, about 8 inches wide. Just these bulbous, furry, mutated squirrel monstrosities with these expanded faces that also go about 8 to 9 inches out and just top to bottom razor sharp teeth and these gigantic claws. It is your go, sir.
I am going to. You know what? I'm going to target one. Yeah, I'll target one with an Eldritch Blast.
Okay. Roll to hit, sir.
Unfortunate. That is a 12.
That hits.
Oh, nice. That hits for 8.
Okay.
And then I'm going to hit him again with the second bolt.
All right. Do it up. You're going to hit the same one?
Yes.
Okay.
16.
Nice. Yep, that definitely hits. Go ahead.
And 6.
Okay. All right. So you fire 2 Eldritch Blasts at, because all 3 of them jumped at Merida. So the timing, you shoot 2 Eldritch Blasts at one of them that is just barely cresting and within inches of grabbing Merida, and you hit both, poof, poof, and it explodes and just blankets Merida with this green and brown viscous liquid. Merida, I need a con save, which you have advantage.
I do. $16.
Okay, so that's a save. So you take. Okay, so that is 4 points of acid damage because you made the save. It was 9, so you take 4.
Okay.
And you are not paralyzed.
Yay.
All right. So, Yorrick, is that everything you got?
That is all I've got for now.
Okay. All right, so that monster is gone, eviscerated. It is now the 2 monsters' turn, and then Merida, you will be up.
Okay.
So decide what you want to do. So these 2 remaining ones that weren't blasted out of the sky now latch onto you. Okay, that's a 17 to hit.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to get you with, that's a bite attack. Okay, that's a 3, so it misses there. And that is a 14. So it gets you with a bite and one of its claw attacks. All right, so let's see. I need another con save from you.
Okay. $12.
Okay, so that is a fail. So that's 7 points of acid damage. And the claw attack was 2 points of piercing damage.
Ouch.
And then the other one gets you with a 16 on the bite. One claw miss, the other claw miss. Roll 2 8s in a row. There you go. All right, so I need one more con save. Okay, that is 6 points of acid damage. As Yorrick, with your passive perception, you are now able to see in real time as these creatures are biting into Merida, this foam-like substance is secreting from their mouth as they bite and just dripping its way onto her chest and onto her shoulders. One of them's on her right shoulder, the other one's over onto the left arm, and you see it just kind of spreading over onto the chest and down the arm, and it is causing the same gray discoloration in the fur that you saw up top.
The same disease my family has.
So that's what it sounds like.
All right, and Merida, you are now up with 2 of these little fuckers attached to you. They each have their teeth dug in. One of them's on your left bicep, and one of them is on your right shoulder, up near your neck.
I'm gonna cast Chill Touch
Okay,
to the one that's up by my neck.
do it. Yes,
25.
that definitely hits.
Three.
Okay. So it, but it does not lose its latch.
Okay, that also means that I'm gonna cast my spiritual weapon as well
All right.
to the same one.
Okay. So Yorrick, you're very familiar with this, but her mythical scythe appears to once again save the day and
That's
swipes down. 20 to hit, yes.
That's a dirty 20.
That is a dirty 20. It belongs at the crank and yank. It's so dirty.
Yes.
What do we got? 5.
5.
Okay. So that is 8. All right. So it slashes. Doesn't quite kill it, but it is definitely injured.
And I will
All
end
right. All right. Fantastic. So Yorrick, just keep in mind the Eldritch Blast doesn't really matter. You can do it like point blank range, but that's pretty much where you are right now. Is you and Merida were pretty close to each other. So if she turned around to face the squirrels, you are to her right. Just to give the placement. But you're literally like within arm's reach of her, just so you know. All right, so
Because my strength score is not the greatest, so I'm not even gonna attempt to grapple.
oh, I know. I was just letting you know the placement because we
Wow.
don't have the map up. So I'm just letting you know, like you're within arm's reach of her at the moment. It is your go, sir.
I'm gonna unload another 2 rounds of Eldritch Blast.
Which one are you trying to hit?
I'm gonna hit both of them.
Okay, one for each.
Yeah.
All right, do it up, sir.
For the one that's on the bicep, if it's gonna roll for me, I guess I don't get to. Just kidding. That's 10.
There it goes. 10 does not hit.
All right. And then for the one that's on
the neck.
Yeah.
The connect.
That's a 14.
That does hit. So the first one you kind of trying to like aim without hitting Merida, nervously shooting it off because you don't want to injure your teammate, as you've seen so many times before. And you just you time it wrong and it just goes up to the ceiling instead of straight forward. The second one does in fact hit.
And that's
Alright.
not.
Okay. So that one you shoot over on the neck and it and again showers her in this nasty snot-like viscous fluid. But being that you are so close, you actually get the backsplash of it. I need both of you to make con saves.
Unfortunate. That's a natural 1.
14.
Okay, Merida, you made the save.
Woo!
So, Merida, you are going to take 4 points of acid damage and you are not paralyzed. Yorrick, you take the full 8 and you are paralyzed. Which, if we go into that condition, paralyzed creature is incapacitated and can't move or speak, automatically fails strength and dexterity saving throws, attack rolls against the creature have advantage. Any attack that hits the creature is a critical hit if the attacker is within 5 feet. Okay. And I also believe paralysis can only be cured by a long rest or a spell. Let me actually look at that because it doesn't say anything about that. Curing No. How come I don't know how to spell that word?
Paralys. Paralysis.
You know what? I'm just going to copy and paste it because I don't have time for that. Okay, so there is one available spell to 5th level druids that deals with a paralyzed condition. Lesser restoration can cure it. Oh, okay. Yeah, so a long rest won't do it either. So you need lesser restoration in order to do it. Bard, cleric, druid, paladin, ranger. That sucks. Oh, hold on. What does it say here? Okay, yeah. A long rest will do it. That's fine. Yeah. So the only way to cure, there's 2 ways to cure paralysis: lesser restoration or a long rest. But you are paralyzed.
Gross.
Unfortunate.
So, and Merida, you're just now covered in 2 layers of yuck.
Great.
All right, and it is the monster's turn that is on your bicep, and they have you. Okay. So it goes to bite you again, but can't quite pierce a second time. That's a natural 17 on the first claw and a 13 on the second claw. So that is 10 points of piercing damage.
God.
And it is your go after that, Merida.
All right. I'm going to try to boop the thing.
Boop.
23.
That definitely hits.
13.
Okay. Need another con save as it explodes all over you in a 3rd layer of yuck.
Thanks. You have now seen all 3 cats.
Mhm. That's all right. I'll parade my 9 eventually.
5.
That is a fail.
I'm gonna die.
That is, oh no, I rolled really low on that one. 4 points of acid damage, and you are also paralyzed.
I guess we're taking a nap right here.
Yes. So as the 2 of you come to a close on this very, very awkward fight with mutated squirrel-like creatures, Merida, you collapse to the ground, and you and Yorrick both kind of notice as you are unable to move that none of the other squirrels that approached have mutated into these creatures. It was just those 3. All of the other ones are just pleasant, fluff balls that seem like they're in the wrong place.
They're a little confused, but they got the spirit.
All right, I need one of you to roll a d20.
I'll do it. $12.
Okay. All right. So as the fear sets in as to what is going to happen now in this unknown area,
I don't like this.
deeper in the earth, Merida, than you have ever been, and Yorrick, your first exploration since you went with Trock, you both lay down on the ground still, struggling to breathe and unable to move, wondering what comes next. And you're fine. Take a long rest. You don't know how much I love doing that.
And then you guys get to roll new character sheets.
Woo!
Yes, take a long rest, get rid of the paralysis, and you are good to go. And just so you're aware, no, long rests are not supposed to cure paralysis, but I'm being generous.
We appreciate.
Yeah. So any one of you fucking rule lawyers out there that want to push me, go ahead, try it.
DM does what DM wants.
DM does what DM wants. You can either watch or fuck off.
You can watch or shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
All right. But yes, after a long, very uncomfortable rest, you are fully healed and unparalyzed, but you are stiff and sore as you and gross, especially you, Merida. Yorrick, you barely got any of the shower, but Merida, you are blanketed with 3 layers of it that is now dry and sticky and matted into your fur. As you yourself peel yourself up off the floor, and I mean literally peel, like as you push, some of this viscous snot like fluid sticks to the floor, and you actually have to like until it finally releases you from the floor. And as you look around at yourself, you are now looking at gray patches all throughout your body, as well as missing fur in various locations.
Interesting. Just gonna see if Yorrick's awake yet.
Oh, he's awake.
He's gonna sit up.
Because otherwise I was gonna find a rock and just go, hey!
Yeah, he's up. Same struggle as you, just not stuck to the floor.
That's a bit unsettling, isn't it?
That probably explains why
everyone looks sick.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Should we keep going?
Yeah. We gotta find that plant.
All right, let's go.
Forward.
Okay. Make a perception check for me, Merida. Please and thank you.
9.
Okay. Never mind.
I hate my life. I rolled great on everything else. My memory's crap.
Your sight is crap, your memory's crap. You're good on everything else though. You can kick ass, you just can't remember shit or see shit. You know, who needs to see when they're fighting? Who cares?
Nobody.
Nobody.
People that need to see.
Seeing's for losers.
It's vastly overrated. Just
It
like
is? Okay. So you get up and you continue?
Yes.
Yep.
And as I said, you are at full health. Your joints and your muscles are very stiff and very sore. Like you traversed up and down that mountain all day for 8 straight hours. It's just you got up off of a very uncomfortable floor because
Yep.
you literally slept for 8 hours on that floor. But you get up and you shake it off. And for Merida, it's literally like shaking. It goes, and just parts of it hit the wall beside her. And Yorrick, if you're close enough, you get showered with snot. But you guys continue to go. And again, you reached a wall, so you traverse off to the right. And the right wall comes to a stop. And then this one continues to go into a very narrow hallway once again, where only one of you can go at a time. But once again, it is a straight path that leads to a hole in the ground and a staircase, or a ladder, rather, not a staircase.
More ladders.
Do you go down?
Yep.
Okay. So the two of you go down the ladder. Yorrick having a little bit of PTSD. There are no issues on this ladder. It is very, very sturdy. Merida, you have no clue how these ladders got here, because the only one that Thal ever installed was the first one.
Yep.
So who did these? And of course, his is the one that Yorrick almost died on. But the rest of them seem very sturdy. And you reach the bottom of this one. And as you turn around, it's a very similar cylindrical cavern. Only this time there's no glow or shimmer coming off the walls. Instead, it just radiates a very dull yellow glow. Just constant. It's not pulsing. And it's not just like shimmers here and there. It's kind of like someone turned a lamp on. And now it's glowing everywhere. On the floor, the ceiling, the walls, everywhere.
Perma-glow stick.
Basically. Yeah. Like a giant glow stick. But it is the same wide cylindrical cavern that you were just at before. Just the color's different. You also both start to notice very quickly the air is getting a lot thinner. It becomes more and more difficult to breathe the further you go down. It also gets very cold. So between that floor and this floor is about a 10-degree drop. Even with your fur, it starts to cut in. And Yorrick, even with your thick robe, it starts to cut in.
I'm starting to get a bad feeling.
I don't think we should press any further.
I hate to agree.
Because we don't know what could be deeper in here, and we're basically in uncharted territory. As much as I would love to be the first one to explore it, I don't think we're properly prepared for this.
You might be right. I don't know how much farther we can go. We both almost died back there. But what are we gonna do? It's not like I can show up empty-handed.
Hear me out.
Oh God.
He's gonna take the book out, but he's not gonna open it yet.
What you gonna do with that thing?
I could ask it to see if it would bring us some of the flour that or the plant that we need.
You heard my family. They need like 100 of it. How would that work?
I don't know, but it's worth a shot. But only if you're okay with it.
Yeah, we know how trustworthy your book has been lately. Well, I don't want you risking your life for my village. So if you want to turn back, you can, but I can't show up empty-handed.
Then we press on.
You don't need to be involved.
I feel a need to be here. I was obviously brought here for a reason.
Fine. Let's go.
All right. And Yorrick, as you go to take your first step to progress into the room, you notice down at your foot is one of your favorite cave dwellers, a little spider. As it crawls up onto your boot and just awkwardly sits there.
Nope. Nope, 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 nope. I'm gonna immediately start shaking my foot trying to get it off.
Okay. You shake your foot, and I mean, it's not that difficult. It's a tiny spider. You're shaking your foot, doing like the funky chicken, and it eventually just flies off on its own into nothing. You feel very satisfied until you gaze to the left.
Mama. Ooh.
And there are dozens of these little spiders.
Nope, 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 nope. I don't like it. I'm sorry.
And that's literally the noise that they're making with all of their little feet. As just a blanket of them start to fill the floor and around the ceiling and the walls and the floor. They just start pouring out. But you notice
around now.
You notice something very peculiar with these, both of you do, is they're not coming after you. They start to pour out onto the floor into a central location, and they start to whirlwind around each other. And just
about to experience a spider NATO.
mash in and mash in and mash in and mash in and mash in until after what seems like forever, it's only about like 15 or 20 seconds, but staring at this in absolute fear and confusion, the forming stops. And now what sits in the middle of the room is a tarantula 6 feet in diameter. And off the floor, it sits 3 feet high. And then from belly to back is another 4 feet.
Nope, nope. I don't like it. Nope.
And its 8 eyes open up. And all 8 of them are a solid yellow, just like the room around it. And in your mind, Yorrick. Welcome, Yorrick.
Oh, lovely.
I have heard of you.
I don't like that.
I don't like that either. Of course it knows my name.
I've been interested in meeting you for a long time. I see you brought a meal.
No, not a meal.
You saying this all back in your head or out loud?
He's gonna blurt that out loud.
Yes. So Merida, you hear nope, not a meal out loud.
Meal.
It called you a meal.
It's talking to you?
Does it honestly surprise you at this point? What doesn't talk to me at this point?
That's a good point.
I'm gonna look down at like where the book is in the satchel. Fair.
It's not glowing.
I know that, but I know the book is in the satchel. And I know the book randomly talks to him too, so that's why I'm like, okay, I should be used to this by now.
Okay. So after you look down at the book and say that, and you look up, both of you are now looking forward, and the spider is right here. Its giant spider-like furry face
Oh no.
is within 4 inches of your face.
Mm-mm.
And those big oval yellow eyes are just piercing into both of you.
That moment, I take out a dagger and stab the eye. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. 100% kidding.
And it says once again, Yorrick, in your mind, shall we eat?
He's gonna shake his head again. Just nope, not a meal. Do not eat.
I'll think to myself, maybe I can slowly back up to the ladder and go back.
Make a perception check for me, Merida.
It's just a thought.
I know. That's why I'm not having you roll initiative yet. Okay, never mind. Actually, no.
Expecting.
Actually, no. A 10, that was fine. So, being this close to it and having nothing but its face to look at, you notice that in between the 8 eyes, as it rose up its head, in between the 8 eyes, you notice a couple of thistle leaves.
I see what we're gonna have to do here.
And as you look at those more and more and notice what they are, the purple, crystallized, thin, oval-shaped leaves that line underneath its eyeballs, you see more coming out of its furry elbows and coming out of the top of its head.
She's just gonna like slowly, like I'm guessing that they're like standing near each other.
Mm-hmm.
She's just gonna like take her hand and like start like as nonchalantly as possible. Just it's made out of the plant that we need.
So what I'm hearing is fire, killing it with fire is off the table.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, why did it have to be a spider?
A big one.
Oh,
Yes. 6 foot in diameter, 4 feet wide. That's a big motherfucker.
Uh-uh. You're a little late for Halloween, my guy.
Yep. So what are you doing?
I have a feeling we're gonna have to prepare for battle at this point. And I'm not happy about it. We don't have a choice, do we? Because otherwise the thing's probably gonna eat me then, isn't it? As she's saying, like, the whole time, as she's just, like, smiling and just like, what do we do?
It's either fight or we become lunch.
I'll follow your lead.
All right. And as you're discussing this, on the ceiling above it comes 2 more spiders.
No.
Oh my god. No.
These ones the size of my hands. So not quite 6 feet, but 2 more of them crawl, sticking to the ceiling. Go ahead and roll initiative. It's my
Okay.
job. It's my job to be hated. It's okay. I take it very serious. All right, so we've got that and that.
What cheese? Give me a second.
I'm
All right.
Grandma
I know
trapped.
you're grandma trapped. I stepped on the spoon.
All right. Merida got 15. Yorrick got 19. Those are good rolls. I like it.
Ow!
What in the hell? All right, let's see what the queen rolls.
Good job.
It jumped at me.
Okay, that is a 16.
You want this?
Yes, please.
6 and 13. Okay.
Yes, please.
All right, and Yorrick, as tradition would have it, you're up first.
Shocker!
All right. Yorrick is ready.
Is he though?
Good question. I'm gonna aim an Eldritch Blast at the.
Don't set him on fire.
It's just force damage.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna do it at the one on the left of the queen.
Oh, you're aiming up to the ceiling, to one of the little ones.
So the one that looks like it's coming down to the left.
Okay.
Ooh, that's 15.
That hits.
Awesome. That's 11.
All right. So you shoot the Eldritch Blast up, and it.
And then I'm gonna hit the other one that's coming down with the second blast.
Okay. Do it up.
I just made a weird face at you.
It is not
His-
letting you roll.
Weird.
Hang on. Let me refresh. See.
Roll! Do it faster!
Finally. Good lord.
This
That's
slow roll is brought to you by Adam and Eve's butt plugs. All right, yes, that definitely hits.
Kill the thing.
another 11.
All right, and again, you fire up and it pops. So,
Grandma.
all right, gotcha. And is that the end of your turn?
Then I am going to. I'm going to back up as far as I can away from it.
There's not.
Okay. It will get an attack of opportunity, I'm not going to lie. If you choose to back up.
Yes.
Okay. And that is a 22 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. And that is going to be... All right, I need a con save.
Oh, Lord. 19.
Okay, that is a success. So that is 4 points of poison damage, and you are not poisoned.
Question:
Right.
Does I get an attack of opportunity?
It did not move. He moved.
Okay.
Yeah,
But yes, if it bounces back, you will. Yes. He won't anymore because he moved. But if the spider bounces, then yes.
Okay.
Which Yorrick and Merida, you will immediately notice after you kill the 2 baby spiders up on the ceiling, 2 of its 8 yellow eyes cover over in red.
Uh-oh.
And yes, it is going to jump back. So go ahead, Merida, with an attack of opportunity.
Bear with me a second.
Which, do you even have any weapons?
I don't even think I do.
No, so yours would just be the unarmed strike. Unless you don't have, yeah, you don't have any feats, so.
Okay, I will try an unarmed strike.
Okay.
It's not going to do much. But...
Oh, wait, yeah, you have Shadowed Touch as a feat. What is that? Invisibility spell? Okay, so it just gives you a spell as a feat. Got it. False life and invisibility. Okay. But yes, you can do an unarmed strike as your attack of opportunity.
13?
No.
Damn.
So you go to try to claw at it and it jumps too fast out of your way. All right. And what is this going to do? Okay, got it right there. All right, so it's gonna... All right, so this is a layer action. All right, so that is... Okay. All right. 6 more of those hand-sized spiders start, as it jumps back, 6 more of those start to crawl around it, heading toward the 2 of you. And then, okay, gotcha. So Merida, it shoots a slime-like web out towards you, but you are able to dodge it.
Okay.
And it is your go.
Cool. I'm going to cast Chill Touch to the closest little hand spider to me.
Okay. I gotta add a couple more of these in here.
That's a 21.
That definitely hits.
Excuse me. That's an 8.
All right. And chill touch is the cold one, right? Or it's the necrotic.
That's the necrotic.
Okay. So you
That's
cast.
spirit hand that goes. Bleh.
Yep. So you cast chill touch on one of them, and it immediately stops moving and curls up into a little ball and just rots into the floor.
Did I kill it?
Yes.
Cool.
And a third eye goes red.
Before I go to use my bonus action, I'm gonna turn to Yorrick. I think we need to kill the little ones first. Seems to. It's either weakening it or it's making it stronger. One or the other.
Let's try to chip away at it as we're going.
So attack the big one or attack the little ones?
If you can, hit the big one when you can. But for the most part, let's stick to the
Little ones.
little ones.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and cast my spiritual weapon at the next closest little hand spider thingy.
Okay. Let's see what it's got.
11.
And you went after one of the little hand ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that does hit.
Fabulous. That's 10.
All right. And it swings down and slashes it, and then fourth eye goes red. All right. And is that it for your turn?
That is the end of my turn.
Okay. And let's see. Now we've got the 4 little younglings. All right. 2 of them are going to go after you, Yorrick. 2 of them are going to go after you, Merida.
Of course.
All right. So Yorrick, they both miss you as they leap off the ground, and you're able to dodge out of the way, and they stick to the walls behind you. That's a 19 for Merida and a 7, so only one hits. And that is, oh, okay, wow. That is 4 points of piercing damage to you, Merida.
You said 4?
4.
Cool.
That was actually like a good roll for that. These things really aren't that strong, so that was a really good roll. All right, and Yorrick, you're up.
All right. So I'm going to aim. All of my higher level spells are all cleric spells.
That.
Wow. Okay, I need to fix that next level up. So first I'm going to cast Mind Spike on.
By the way, I think I said this before, is wizard, warlock, cleric, I don't care what the spellcaster is, aside from like druid and paladin. If you're a cleric, a warlock, and a wizard, after every long rest, you can redo your spells.
Okay.
I've never cared about that shit. So usually it's just wizard that gets to pick them. But I've seen games where the cleric picks them too. So I really don't care.
Okay.
Just letting you know. After every long rest, you can go in and redo your spells. Just make sure you have the proper amount for each level and all that shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what was the spell you were using?
I'm gonna cast Mind Spike on the big one.
Mind Spike.
That is a Wisdom 15 save.
Oh, that is an 11. It fails.
All right, so then it takes 3d8 psychic damage on a failed save, and I always know that target's location until the spell ends. It lasts up to 1 hour.
Damn. Nice. Roll the damage. Let's see what you got.
That was the incorrect spell. Ignore that.
That is definitely the incorrect spell.
Here we go. Would have been a sick roll, but 15.
15, yeah, it's higher actually, so. All right. Nice. Fantastic. And all right. And do you have a bonus action you'd like to use?
Bonus action. I do not.
All right.
That's where I will
Chunky.
I will end my turn there.
All right. And it is now the queen's turn. And as it stands in the middle of this room with 4 of its little younglings, 2 of them now on each side of Yorrick on the wall behind him, 1 of them attached to Merida, and the other one on the floor behind her as it missed. As it gears up to make another attack, we are going to end there tonight. So we will pick up there next week in the middle of this fight with a beautiful spider that we all know and love.
Question.
Yes,
Does said spider have name?
you haven't asked.
I just did.
You didn't ask the spider.
Mid-fight. Wait.
I want to know your name before I can kill you.
Yes, you didn't ask the spider, so I don't have to tell you yet. Ha 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 ha.
Ask the spider with your brain powers.
No. We're out of game now. You're gonna have to wait. So take that.
I gotta hope and pray that I remember it next time.
It's like, wait, what did you want me to do? Oh, never mind.
Don't forget, I have a memory like an elephant. I won't forget.
I know
As it's dying. Wait, what's your name?
I need to know your name so that I can kill your last dying.
As it's curling up and stiffening up. What's your? Damn it! Yes, it like gets halfway through its name and dies.
I missed.
I think it said its name was like Tom or something. I don't.
Spidaris.
I think it said Tim.
That is so idealistic.
I think it said Tim. I don't really know.
Hey, you're in the way.
Well, that's a good frame to end on.
Spidaris,
right.
Daughter of Spidara the Third.
There you go. All right. Yes. Thank you for showing up. This was actually really fun. I didn't know how long that village part was actually going to go for. That went way longer than I thought. But having your grandfather come into play, that was actually my favorite part.
That was interesting.
That was like the old senile fool that still thinks
Everyone
he can
is
sell.
nice to, but knows is crazy.
Yes, that one. Yes, I really enjoy that one. So this was really fun. It is late. I am gonna go to bed. I gotta get up at 5 in the morning. Same.
So do
Yep.
I.
Yep. All right. And for those of you listening, thank you very much for listening. If you went this far through, don't forget to check out our other videos.
Bye.
And have a good night. Oh, by the way, just like I ended the last one, I'm going to propose a question to the viewers. And you're welcome to put it down in the comments section of YouTube as soon as I post the video. Do you think that Tarzan's first wet dream
Here we go again.
was about a human? Good night.